Peace and light, everybody. My name is JL. I am the author of What She Taught Me. Today, what I want to talk about is the healer, because I think that the healer, this type of person, is one of the most important kinds of humans that exist on this planet. And we have a huge responsibility to the healer that often goes unmet. And this video is specifically for men, but just like everything, it can apply to anybody. As men, we tend to, if we're honest with ourselves, we tend to walk around with a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved issues and issues that we're ignoring. And we don't deal with them. We just kind of push them deep down within ourselves and expect it to just stay there. So a couple of things happen. One, that pain and that trauma that's not dealt with, it seeps out in ways that are damaging to us, and it's also damaging to other people. Another thing that happens is whatever is inside of you is going to attract something outside of you. So just like ill people go to hospitals, right? Physically ill people, someone who is energetically ill or has a trauma, has a sickness, has a deep pain, is going to be attracted to a certain type of person. So a man who is hurting is attracted to a healer. Now, what is a healer? I talk about her a little bit in this book. I just want to read just a couple of sentences. Her words, her eyes, and her energy are all healing. Her touch as well can repair the deepest wounds. She is the broken soul that mends hearts. She is the healer. And then I go on to talk about her relationship with the masculine, because remember, healing energy is feminine energy. Restoring and secure energy is masculine energy. But healing, life, that's feminine energy. So in relation to the masculine, it says, in order for the masculine to surrender his pain to her, she makes herself extremely vulnerable. And that's what I want to get into today. How we harm the healer, how we make the healer sick, and our responsibility to the healer, our responsibility to ourselves, and the part that we're really supposed to play with the healer. So keep in mind that when you're dealing with the healer, this is someone who sees that you're hurting and they come to you with open arms, right? They have their arms open and they're really gonna let you into their heart. It's almost like an energetic hug that they're giving you, as well as a physical hug. And it feels good to be with this person. It feels good to be next to this person. Whatever trauma you have, whatever issues, whatever pains, this person just makes everything feel good. And a lot of times we want to be connected to that in a way that probably isn't healthy. So let's say that you are a person who's dealing with the trauma, a person who's dealing with pain, and you're attracted to the healer because of how she makes you feel. Well, that doesn't mean that you should be in that type of relationship with her, because you're not healed yet. And if you're not willing and ready to do the work to actually be healed, not just feel good, but to be healed, then you're not ready for a relationship. You're not ready until you do or go through the process of healing. There is an attraction for the healer as well. The healer, in order to operate in her natural feminine form, she needs sick people, right? The healer needs ill people in order to heal. Just like the ill person needs the healer in order to heal. These two things work together. But sometimes we end up going into the wrong type of relationship. Instead of a healing relationship, it becomes an intimate relationship. And anytime a well person becomes or goes into an intimate relationship with a sick person who is not even trying to heal, who just likes the way it feels, then you have a recipe for disaster. You have, more than likely, you're going to end up with two sick people. So this is what I really want to tell men in this video. If you know that you have a trauma, if you know that you have an illness, a pain, a sickness, be careful in how you move with the healer. And you know who the healer is. You know who makes you feel good, right? You know who makes that part of you feel good, that part of you that's hurt, that kid inside of you that's still dealing with the trauma. Like, you know what part of you that is. But you have to be careful with the healer, because the healer just wants to heal you. She just wants to take you in, and she wants to see that part of you healed. Okay. But what happens oftentimes is a man who is hurting or has a trauma gets close to the healer, and he just takes and takes and takes and takes and takes, right? And even if he doesn't get into an intimate relationship with her, he just takes because it feels good. He doesn't connect with her in an intimate way, even if that's what she wants. He doesn't do that because that takes work. He just takes and takes and takes. And what happens is when you do that, it's just like any other resource. If you take and take and take, you run out of it. Okay? And this is what men often do. They take and take and take from a healer. And then once it's all gone, they move on to the next person who makes them feel good. They take and take and take, and they move on. And then you're just creating, more sick people. You're just leaving behind just a line of people who had open arms for you. And all you did was leave behind pain and misery and trauma for them. And now they need healers. Respect your resource. If you have someone in your life who's a healer, appreciate what they're offering you. Appreciate what they're giving you. Not only should you not take and take and take more than what's there for you or more than what you need, but you should also pour back into that person. What does this person need in order to be filled? You got to think of it kind of like a service. If you take, at some point, you run out of that, whatever you're taking from, and then you don't have it anymore. So you don't even have that well to dip from anymore. So take what you need or receive what you need. I shouldn't even use the word take. Receive what you need because this is being given to you. And when you're pouring back, find out what is it that makes that person feel whole and loved and appreciated, and give that back. Because, and this is how healers are taken advantage of. And I write about the healer extensively because so often healers and givers end up dying the worst deaths. Like they go out with nothing. And maybe that feels good to them because they're empty. It's like I'm able to give and give and give. But you can't operate as a giver and a healer if you've given away everything. You become sick too because you can't operate in your natural, the way that you're naturally inclined to operate because it's all gone. So there's a responsibility on the person who's receiving. There's a responsibility on that person's part to pour back into the pot, to take only what they need or receive only what they need. But there's also a responsibility on the part of the healer to have boundaries. Your boundaries are so important because if you don't have boundaries, unfortunately, a lot of people will just run over you. They will take and take and take, and they'll just be gone when you're empty looking for the next person. So you have a responsibility to have boundaries when it comes to how much you give people, how much of yourself you give people, because there are other people who need you, like you. You need you. So you need you to be healthy. Other people are relying on you, right? People who are close to you, family, friends, loved ones. They're relying on you to be healthy. So if you're going to be the type of person who gives and gives and gives, you have to have boundaries. One more thing that you have to do. You have to surround yourself with people who are pouring back into the pot and people who are healthy. And this sounds really funny, right? Because you would just think that this would be natural and normal for people to do. Surround yourself with good people. But this is a mistake that healers often make. They surround themselves with only sick people. And if you think about it, it makes sense because when they surround themselves with sick people, they have the ability to operate within their natural self because they can be healers. And they attract those people because of that. But those people attract them because of that as well. So before you know it, you have a whole bunch of sick people around you. And whatever you have around you, you become, okay? Because you just have these people taken from you. So as a healer and as a giver, you have to strategically place givers around you. You have to think about this. You have to strategically place givers around you so that you can have people who pour back into the pot, so that you can have people who give back to keep you full. Now you're balanced. And that's what this book is all about, really. It's about keeping balance. Balance is key because as long as you have people pouring into you, you can pour out into people. Healers oftentimes have the worst time with balance because they're too focused on giving and healing. They're too focused on that, as you should be focused on it. But also make sure that you put the energy into having givers and healers around you so that you can stay balanced. Listen, guys, make sure that you get the book. There's a whole bunch in here to go through. We're going to go through them in videos. It's called What She Taught Me. You can find it at whatshetaught.me.book.com. You can also find it on iBooks, and you can find it on Kindle and probably any other e-reading device. All right? I hope this helped you out. Until next time, everybody, peace and light.